Hello everyone, welcome to this webinar organized by the IEEE PES Young Professional. In today's webinar we'll be talking about the scholarship and bursary available for international student with our speakers. Uduak Akpandet. She's a Chevening Alumna and the climate change advocate interested in the climate change crisis solutions with priority outreach to marginal location. She is a consultant engineer within an energetic entrepreneurial client-focused and technically excellence team, providing environmental, technical, and project management support to climate developing renewable energy projects, connecting of the electricity network, and regularly monitoring. She holds a master's degree in electrical power system engineering from University of Manchester, United Kingdom, and a Bachelor of Engineering in Electrical and Electronics. Her interest is in renewable energy, STM, grid connection, protection and control, project management, technology, and engineering. Okay, the stage is yours. You can start. And thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Hyan. Thank you to the organizers of this event. Thank you for the honor to be your speaker today. It's very important event, and so thank you for joining today. So basically, I don't know how the platform is, but from what I was told, it's going to be interactive. So though I can see the audience because of how the platform is. And so feel free if you have your question or you have contribution, do well to drop your questions or your contributions while the discussion is going on. It's going to be a discussion session, more of interactive. And so, I mean, I'm not presenting any screen. It's just going to be more of interactive. Here, just to point out the basic things that we need to know, if you need to know, if you're looking to for scholarship opportunity in any way for international students. So basically, there are, again, my name is Uduak. There are scholarships opportunity and bursary, we can call it grant, that's available for international students. So scholarship, I mean, basically when we look at scholarship, can call it scholarship, can call it grant, and you can call it bursary. They're all financial awards that are designed to help support students financially through their studies, and they can be awarded for many reasons, and it's often depend on the type of organization that is awarding the scholarships. Different organizations will have different motives for offering scholarship, but the important thing here is scholarship, grant, and bursary often seem to be quite interchangeable. It can be quite confusing, but what I want to point out here is the basic principle of each is the same, because this is money is awarded to you and you do not have to pay back. And so general rules, I mean, scholarship generally given, for example, achieve whether it's academic or extra other activities in terms of extracurricular activities, that's scholarship. And so if you look at the grant, a grant can be given for an achievement, personal circumstances, or financial need. So these are important to note. So scholarship basically is given for something you have achieved. That means you have to go through the application process of different scholarship schemes, like I'm Chevening Alumna, and so that means I went through Chevening. Chevening is the UK government scholarship, open to all fields or anybody. So you just need to meet the requirements and then apply for it. There are also other scholarships looking at for international students. But what I'm trying to explain here is the scholarship, it's basically achievement, whether academic. And then when we talk of the grants, so this can be given for achievement, the personal circumstance, or financial needs. So for instance, international student, which I'm going to break down later, the international students have the opportunity if you're in financial need. So there are some things like that which you can actually apply for financial assistance. And then we'll look at some bursaries. These are usually given for financial needs. So grants could be through achievements if you're doing applying for, like there are some organizations that sponsor, that give grants as an award for excellence or based on other circumstances. For instance, what most schools, most universities, international schools offer are grants, and if your course is to be like $20,000, if your program is to be $20,000, and so the school can offer a grant of $2,000. That's called grant, a support for because you merit and you actually achieve the academic qualifications to study that program, and so they're going to give you that to support. But bursary, it's basically for financial needs, and so however this apply to different funding opportunity, but it's important to look at the misconceptions of academic gifts here and grants and bursary for those in financial needs and anyone between who are eligible. And so when we look at scholarships, the academic, many universities, this is something many, I probably didn't know. And I know that many people don't know this, that there are some universities that offered scholarships. So when you hear first what many people which have a chat with do is that, oh, I want to apply for all those big name scholarships, like the Chevening, like Commonwealth, and we have in different federal governments for those in Nigeria, and then they also have different or individual scholarships sponsored by different organizations. I mean, these are all good to for scholarship, but the important thing here is that you're limited to only those big names. You're limited to those big names. So when do the grant or bursary comes in? Now, if you look at what you want to study, and then you look at, there are also other things, means of payment that's available. So if you look at the universities, first you look at different universities and look at what they offer. And I mean, I can't begin to mention names. There's some schools in the UK, in the Northwest, in the London, in Scotland, in Wales, Liverpool, and in the US, there are a lot of schools as well that offer that, not just in the UK and US, and in South Africa as well, in Australia. So all this information are out there, but the important thing you need to know is that you can actually apply it into the school. And so you just, before you apply, you just look at the school and check what they have. Some schools have academic excellence scholarship. For instance, what academic excellence scholarship is many universities offer scholarship to students who achieve specific grades. So for instance, if you had if your first degree, you have like a first class, and yes, if you have a first class, I had a friend who just just resumed in the UK. So if you have a first class, a second class, this is not limited to first class and second, but academic excellence scholarship is based on its merit. So if you have a first class in your first degree, and then so there are some universities in the UK and US, I'm just citing those two countries, and which, if you check their course requirement to get into admission for masters, for MBA, and even PhD courses, now they check, oh, there's a scholarship for people who had first class. So there are opportunities like that. So it is now the university, the department, the school. So what we call school here, like what we call school in the UK, is what we refer to as department, faculty back in Nigeria. So if you look at the faculty, the school, and then the course you want to study, so you look at the requirement. There are scholarships for some grade. That's called academic excellence. And we have personal circumstances scholarships. These are based on things that are specific to your personal circumstances. For instance, such as where you live. There are scholarships where they give to people like financial need. These are basically, call it kind of traditional, being awarded money to individuals to go to university with, and you will need to prove your financial needs. So these are basic in school. So example of schools like that, like Swansea, it's a university in Wales. That's just an instant. And so you open it, and the requirement, you say, oh, there's a bursary, there's a scholarship for people who are in financial need. At that point, you need to show your bank statement to show, and their industrial scholarship. So this is where companies or professional associations sponsor for many people here who are engineers. This what we call Institute of Engineering and Technology, and these professional organizations also sponsor scholarship for engineering, people in engineering background. And so how do you know this? Again, this is widely open to the universities. So what you do is just like type in, use your Google. There are links to that. Use your Google, check universities in the UK that offered scholarship to, you'll see a lot of lists. And what you're going to do is it will come up a list of universities that offer this. I know like two or three. I didn't do research. This is just based on information that they published on a engineering daily bulletin or monthly, and so you get to see. But I'm sure if you do your research, you will see more of that information. And so that's in terms of that. Now, how do you search? There are their database for this. So what I'm going to do, I'll try and see if I can open the link and paste the link for all this their database for that. So their database for that. So the scholarship organized in such a way that you can filter different options. There are basic options for selections as well. They are based on institution. There are three major things. there are three major things that these are based on. They are based on in terms of basic for selection. So these options here are based on the reason for award. Is it personal circumstances? Is it financial circumstances? Or is it academic excellence? Again, this is widely open to everyone. And so we look at the institution. We also look at the institution. So if you know, in terms of the institution, so if you know you know which universities you are interested in, you can select those specific ones, but you should also run a station open to any university. You understand? Open to any universities, as this is where you will find those scholarships that are open to all students, regardless of the university they go to. So what that means is that there are scholarships that are open to other universities, and there are some that are specific, and there are some that are specific to the university. Some are specific to the universities, and so you look at that. Some requires that you have to study in that universities, and others means that you can study in any university that covers that. And so the courses as well, what you want to study is very important. It plays an important role to that. And so you can, excuse me, so you can select specific subjects that you are interested in from the list. Some university, like the one I checked today, like Manchester Metropolitan University is in Manchester. And so when you type in, so you just see some of those schools, some of those courses that are offered this. And for instance, you're looking for scholarship for business management, you're looking for a scholarship for data analysis, you're looking for a scholarship to study power systems engineering. That's just an instance. And so you filter it and see there are some courses that they don't offer that grant. And so you can as well select open to any subject. But the important thing here is that most of these scholarships by school, it's important to note this. Most of these schools that offer scholarships, some of them offered 50%, some offered 20%, and some offered fully. There are schools that offer 100%, but the ones that offer 50% are more compared to those that offered 100%, and those that offered 20% are more. And there's also called student. There's also something called student loan. So what that student loan means is that if you have admission to the University of Manchester to study my course, electrical power systems engineering, your master's, so the school fees is 30 grand, that's £30,000, and so you're able to pay £15,000, and you can get a loan. It means you can get a loan of 5,000, and you're gonna pay in, or you're able to pay 75% of your school fees, and so for the remainder you can get a loan to pay this. Now, why we're talking about this is because we're just limited to scholarship. I spoke with somebody earlier today, and he said, "Oh, the reason why I'm not be able to gain admission to do my master's is because I've been rejected by Chevening. I've not had admission." And what I told the person was that if you're very much interested to study, I mean, in his own case, he like have for instance, the school fees was £15,000, and he said he could afford £7,000. That's half of the 50% of that. When I look for school, in that case, look for school that offered 20% of 20% of grant or bursary, whatever you call the scholarship, grants, bursaries. These are just to support you. They are non-refundable. But if you get a loan, you have to be paying it in a certain time. And so why not look for universities that offer 20% or 50%, and you can know that you'll be able to pay the remaining 50%. And so if you go with this approach, you realize that in a period of 1 year, 12 months for taught courses in the UK, and I think it's 14 months or something in the US. Now you're able to look for this, you're able to do that. So you don't have to wait for only all those big names. Again, this universities hardly, that's something you should take note of. The universities hardly advertise their scholarship, unlike what we have, the Chevening, the Commonwealth, and the every other scholarships that advertise. The universities rarely see that. Not that they haven't, but I rarely see it. They advertise. So you just have to get to the website, and for instance, you just go University of Manchester. I want to study electrical power systems engineering. Is there any scholarship for that? All those informations are there. You check international students. You see scholarship available for the student. For instance, though I can't really share my, I don't know if you can see that. No, it's not visible. Okay, sorry. So this is just University of Underfield. They have a scholarship for the school fee, depending on the course, is 8,000, like £9,000, and then they have a scholarship of 4,000. So if you look at that, that's just like 40%. So all this information, they won't publish. It's not published, but you have to go to the website. And so before we go into question, like I said, I'm going to make this very interactive, and already seeing some questions here. Yeah, so if you have the question, please do well to drop it. So the key thing to note here is that there are universities that are open to scholarship. They're open to have payment of fees. In terms of, when I say have payment, 50% of grants. There are schools that are open to 25% of grants, some 20. And so these informations, you may not see them published like every other scholarship, but you just need to find the course. So if you go, what we do, I'm sorry, this platform we use does not give an avenue to share screen. So if you go to somewhere like this, I can't even see. So there are ways to find the courses, find course, and if you click on the courses, you type in the course you want to do, and when you type in, it will show you if the course offers scholarship. But I'm sure if you check this open to other universities, it might be quite interesting. And the requirement, having said that, in terms of how the different scholarship opportunities that are out there for international students, now what you must have is that as a student, or as somebody who is looking to apply for master's, MBA, PhD, of course, we're not focused on PhD, but if you're looking for master's, and there are also scholarships opportunities for PhD. So that's, you have to reach out, get a supervisor. That's for PhD. Get supervisor and research supervisor, and so you have to reach out to the school right out. And I know a lot of people who are PhD and fully funded, and some have and so like I know a lot of people in the University of Toronto and Canada, US, UK, all these are there. And so please do the research. The other thing I have to mention is that you're looking to do your master's as an international student. Now you have to get all your requirements. You need your degree, your first degree. You need your transcript. Transcript is very important. I don't know. Also check out if, for instance, schools in the UK. I know since COVID 2020, some schools does not require IELTS. Find out if they do, and if they do this, if they need it, you're going to prepare for your IELTS. But I know that 90% of universities in the UK no longer require IELTS. I may be wrong, but from research. And so find out, anything can happen for September batch, but that's what happened. The percent I just gave is from 2020 to now. So find out the schools, find out things you need. The basic requirements, you must have your transcript, you must have your degree ready. You must as well get to your sponsorship. So, but find out what each school needs. But degree, your transcript, the basic things. Of course, you must have your passport, your passport, your traveling document. It's important because I've seen cases where people say, "Oh, got to review my SOP, that statement of purpose," and like, I had a mission and this, you don't have traveling documents. How do you intend to travel? So these are the basic things that you need to have in order to prepare to secure scholarship. So find out. Today I tried to help somebody doing some application for a friend, and putting in so in terms of, I don't do application for people, but what I'm saying is that I was trying to find out schools that offer the course that she wants to study, and so the rest left for her. And so it's important. You just get to a website and find out all the scholarships, the degree, the student finance, and all this. It's important. It helps you how to list out that. And so yeah, I've tried to keep the time. So please, if any participants have question, and feel free to let me know. I've got one question directly from my DM, and it says, if you're able to secure scholarship, school bursary, does that involve cost of living? I guess that's what you're trying to say. So fully funded scholarship like Chevening, which I heard, it's fully funded. So fully funded is fully funded in the sense that it's includes your school fees, your cost of living. That means you get monthly stipend to sustain you, because you're not gonna do anything. But if you get school scholarship, if you get school scholarship, it means that it covers only your school fees. So if your school fees is $15,000, it covers only your school fees. And so that means you must have money for how you're going to sustain the cost of living, the rent, and your monthly your upkeep. Then if you have 50% or 20%, all this bursary. So that's the difference between scholarship and bursary or grant. So scholarship fully funded, it includes everything. That's your cost of living, your school fees. But if you're getting grant or bursary, it means that it is towards, so this is specific particular amount of money you have, and so it's just specific for your school fees, and nothing else. So you must have for the cost of living. It means that you're going to take care of yourself. Yeah. I don't know if there's any other question regarding that.
Sorry, I have a question. Did they require a CV and a motivation letter for the application and a recommendation letter as well?
Yes, so for some school, of course, when I applied for to the university, what the recommendation letter, that has to be, you must have 2 recommendation letters. One must be from your school, and if you've worked before, one must be from your place of work. And it's not compulsory. I mean the 2, one. And so there's what we call statements of purpose, SOP, and which if you're going to state why you choose that, why you choose the school, why you choose the course you want to, and why the country. So for instance, Manchester University, Electrical Power Systems Engineering, and the UK. So why did you choose Electrical Power Systems, and why did you choose the University of Manchester, and why the United Kingdom? So all this including the statements of purpose, that is required, and recommendation has to be from either your school or the place of work. And yeah, those are the things that are required for admission. Now for the grant, yes, I think last 3 months ago I reviewed for a friend requirements. So they write on leadership for the not Chevening but the school scholarship for international students. And so they just put in application. I forgot to mention that even for the school scholarship, you still need to put in application. And in the application, you can be asked to write an essay. And it could be the one I reviewed was more generic about what you study. That's your past, your first degree. And you also write on your leadership experience, as well as the course you want to study, and as well as your goals. And so kind of 4 essays similar to Chevening, but Chevening are more specific in terms of leadership, leadership and influence networking and all those. Yeah, so you need a recommendation, and you need sometimes the school gives the format, the standard, they have standard formats for the letter of recommendation letter, and as well as the SOP. So some school give a template of how they want it to be like, and some doesn't. But this again depend on the school. Does that answer your question?
No, thank you. No more question from my side. Is there anyone has a question?
Yeah, I don't think there's any other question. And you can always reach out to me, and it's the same name on all social media, and as well we can discuss some important questions if you do have, but not to search for schools. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for these valuable informations, and thank you for your time. If there is no more questions, so I think we can close this webinar.
All right. Thank you very much for having me. It's such an honor, and I hope that you have a great time. To all the participants, nice having you all here.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.